on Dr. Phil. Her parents say,
quote, I hate my daughter. You've described her as the devil child.
bad teen,
I'm a normal teenager doing normal things.
So she's stolen your keys, tried to burn through the safe, smashed into windows of the cars.
or bad parents.
You haven't interacted with her in a year.
I must say 2 years. I live in the same house. I just can't talk to her.
But you're her father. Let's do it.
Show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. My guests today say about their 17-year-old daughter, Ollie. Quote, I hate my daughter. She is evil, hurt me to the core. I don't want to hear her voice. I gave up. I don't care. I want to kick her out and cut ties. She is spoiled. She is a lost cause. I don't know how to tame the beast. Amanda and Junior say they can't help but feel this way because of Ollie's out-of-control behavior, including burning her dad's safe, stealing her grandmother's debit card, stealing her parents' car and wrecking them, dropping out of school, getting into physical fights, and getting tattoos on her face and body. Amanda says they've tried everything. Now remember that. They've tried everything to help Ollie, but nothing works. Take a look.
Ollie's behavior changed when I enrolled her into a different school. She started to get teased and bullied. She stopped going to school, period. I don't like the feeling of watching my daughter get beat up. It breaks my heart. She's probably ran away 20 times. My daughter has stolen my car 7 times.
She tried to break the window with a concrete brick. It didn't break. That's why she broke the windshield.
My husband rather take an abandonment charge than have her in our home.
Just 4 days ago, she steals a car. She is not on the right track.
In the last 4 years, my daughter has cost me over $10,000 in damages.
Rounded up to 16,000.
We lock ourselves in our bedroom at night so she can't steal anything. We have a safe in our room that holds everything that we don't want her to take.
She had my safe burned to try to take whatever valuables I've had. I shouldn't have to lock my doors. I shouldn't have to put cameras up in my house.
My doors in my home are busted because of her. Ollie has stolen my mother's bank card and wiped it clean to buy her and her friends cell phones, which I didn't know you could do that at 13 years old. But she did. She has stolen money from me, my husband, my daughters. She does say that it's okay for her to be using pills, drinking, cocaine, because she doesn't do it daily. Her room is not exactly what every 17-year-old little girl's room should look like. It is nasty. Clothes everywhere, rotten food, there's cigarette butts. Every day I ask myself what happened to my daughter. I love my daughter very much, but I don't like her right now.
Wow. You all have your hands full.
Yes.
You do.
You know, I've often said, if you go down the street in America and kind of look at houses from the street, they all pretty much look alike. But what's behind them can be really different from one house to the next.
Yes.
Would you guys say that on your block or put you on any street in America, you would have the worst daughter on the street?
Yes.
Because you've described her as the devil child.
Evil, yes.
Yes.
Evil. I mean, that was your word, evil. Why y'all? Instead of the people next door or the people 3 doors up, why y'all?
I think it's due to the move. We moved from California to Illinois, and it was the change.
A lot of people think La La Land out here is the nutty place. And you went to Illinois and it got worse. What about Illinois set it off?
The people she hangs with, the crowd.
Wrong crowd.
Wrong crowd.
It's usually a boy. She gets into a relationship, and whatever they say, she'll jump and do.
Is she smart?
Yes. She's extremely smart. Straight A student, normally.
So she's not a dummy. She's smart enough to know.
She was a straight A student until we moved to Illinois.
Okay.
We got there and evil sat in her.
Okay.
That's the way I see it. Evil just sat in her.
Just sat in. Yeah, well, you know, there's this nature-nurture controversy that's always gone on. Is it genetic or is it environmental? And Junior says that part of the reason for this is that there are no consequences. He says you let her get away with everything, that you spoil her, so she doesn't fear any outcome.
Correct.
He said it's so bad he would rather go to jail for abandonment than have her in his house.
True.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yes, because I'm losing everything I worked hard for. And
Because she steals it,
she steals it, yes.
or crashes it, or...
There, crashes it.
Now, you haven't interacted with her in a year.
I'm going to say 2 years.
2 years.
It's been about a good 2 years.
What do you mean you haven't interacted with her? You live in the same house.
I live in the same house. I can't talk to her because I know what she's telling me is not true. And she's told me so much that I'm done hearing the lies.
But you're her father.
I'm her father, yes. But there's nothing I can do to help her anymore to get out of this. I've tried, and every time it gets thrown back in my face.
Okay. So you've just pretty much quit, given up.
Yes, I've given up.
Because I didn't know that was an option. I mean, I'm a dad. I've got 2 kids. I didn't know there was a window where you go and say, I'm resigning as a parent.
I still love her. But if I baby her anymore, she's just going to go down the same road, and I see nothing but death. I don't even think she'll make it to 20.
Okay, so you've just resigned the fact that you're going to bury this girl.
Yeah.
We saw pictures of her with a concrete block smashing in the windows of your car. She got on the hood and threw it through the windshield. And then she's kicking it in because that doesn't do it completely. And then I don't know how she thinks she's going to drive it after this.
She was trying to get in there to
Grab
get a
her
bag. Her boyfriend thought his phone was in there. So she did all that for a phone that wasn't even in there.
Okay. So your analysis is the move triggered this, the school she went to triggered it, the wrong crowd triggered it, and in terms of parenting strategies and options, you've been through them all and nothing works, so you're out of options, so you're coming to me saying,
Please help.
if you've got a new strategy, tell us, because we've been through every strategy you can find in a book or wherever. We've done every parenting strategy there is.
Yeah.
Yes, we've even took it to the law, and they still refuse to help.
So if I had a different perspective, a different view, you'd want to hear it.
Yes.
Yes.
Even if it stepped on your toes a little bit.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, well, you know, everybody looks at things a little bit differently, and you might not be surprised to know that I have a little bit different take on this. They've given you their analysis of the situation. I'm going to give you mine. I have a little bit of different take. I'll tell you what it is after the break. You said, I was a drug addict, but I was still able to be a good mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing the flag on that because I think she was raised by a mother who chose drugs over her. And later, she's had every opportunity to throw y'all under the bus. And that's just not what she said. That's just not what she did. And she said, I want a relationship with my dad. What do you make of that, Dad?
Tomorrow.
Were you planning on marrying somebody else?
I don't keep memories that long.
I'm not lying it. He's a cheater and a liar.
You get in your daughter's face and say, shut your mouth. Why are you not protecting your children?
They have nowhere to go.
What's going on in this situation is so bad. Some behaviors, I think, are actually criminal.
That's tomorrow. Then on Monday.
You're so rich and beautiful, and they're telling you how much they love you.
She has a phone, but she says it doesn't work and only text.
She can charter a private jet, but she can't make a phone call.
That's Monday.
Daddy's little girl until she turned 13.
She was always by my side doing the things I did. At 10 years old, she could change a tire, put brakes on a car, and make it run. Ollie's broken my heart. She has robbed us of everything. I'd rather go to jail than have her keep taking my cars. I can't afford it. I haven't even talked to my daughter in a year. I don't even give my daughter a hug anymore. I don't.
My husband is heartbroken and lost without his daughter. To watch her go down this road is killing him.
Let's talk about what we can agree on. We can agree her behavior is unacceptable, delinquent, criminal, out of control, has to change.
Yes.
Okay? We're all on the same page.
Yes.
You say the reason is the move. You moved from California to Illinois. That triggered it. And she fell in with the wrong crowd. And they influence her. And you say there are no consequences, so she's not afraid of anything.
Yes.
And other than that, you've tried everything. And I have a little different list as to why she might be, why she's doing what she's doing. And at the bottom of my list is going to be that she has no self-worth, doesn't value herself as a person, as a family member, as a member of society, so she holds herself to no standard. And then so I asked myself, if I'm right about that, why would that be? And I thought, well, as adults, we talk about the younger generation as though we have nothing to do with it. But I think we write on the slate of who our children are by the things we do to impact them. So I thought, well, let me see if I can find some things that you may have done to undermine her self-worth. And one of the things that I found as I was looking along here is that you said I was still able to be a good mom.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing the flag on that because I don't think you're a drug addict and a good mom. I don't think you can use those words in the same sentence. So I think she was raised by a mother who chose drugs over her. And so that would certainly, in a child's eyes, that would undermine her self-worth. She would say, choice was made, I lost. Okay? Then you left your husband and 3 children for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You just up and left. You didn't even say goodbye.
No.
One day she wakes up and Mama's gone.
Yes.
You were gone when she was 8 to 10 years old. So now she says, okay, I've watched my mom choose drugs over me. Now she's gone completely. I've been abandoned by my mother.
Yes.
You think that might undermine her self-worth?
Yes.
Okay.
I do carry the guilt every day.
Okay. But then Dad takes the children and goes to Illinois because you, during that 2 years, you turned yourself around.
I did.
And good for you.
Thank you.
I give you credit for that. And you and your husband decided that y'all wanted to be a family because you did a 180 in your life. But she goes up there, and so she's now going to a school, and she gets bullied.
Daily.
And then at 13, she gets drugged and violated. And you say she starts acting out and making horrible choices, and this is where the wheels start to come off. Now, somewhere along the line, you went to prison.
Yes.
For trying to blow up someone you were having an affair with.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
How long did you go in for?
3 years.
And how old was she during this time?
2 years old, 3 years old.
Okay. But then you went back to jail in Illinois for 3 months because some girls were going to beat her up. And you said, well, if you're going to beat her up, then come over to the house because I'm not going to let you jump her somewhere else. So they come over to the house and they have a fight and the police arrest you.
Yes. They say I
Instigated.
instigated a fight. I set up a fight.
Yeah.
That's what they were claiming.
Yeah, that's what they claimed, enough that you went to jail.
Yes.
Over it.
With the threats.
So you're doing drugs early on. You go to prison early on. So she got rendered to foster care.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So she's been put in foster care.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been to prison. You're on drugs. She's gone into foster care. Then you abandon her. Then you move to Illinois. You get arrested. She gets drugged and assaulted. And y'all say it was just a move. And she fell in with the wrong crowd. I got to tell you, it sounds to me like y'all may be the wrong crowd. There are things that she's done really well. I mean, by comparison, she hasn't tried to blow anybody up.
No.
She's not an addict. She hasn't tried to kill anyone. I got to tell you, it sounds to me like y'all may be the wrong crowd. Now, hang on. Before you get defensive, you got to own the history. You have written on the slate of who she is, which means if you do that, you got to own who she's become. Now, you can't change what's happened. I'm just trying to say, let's own how we got where we got if we're going to change where we're going. Because I don't think she's evil. I think she's a product of life experiences, some of which you own, some of which you've been victimized by. She has been to juvie, right?
No.
Only she's been into the Indiana detention facility for juveniles only because we refused to pick her up because she took our car over state line and wrecked it. Didn't
they contact you and say, she's been here so long, if you don't come get her, we're going to charge you with child abandonment?
Yeah. Yes.
What's up with that?
I couldn't go pick her up even if I wanted to because she stole my car. I had no vehicle. But I was so angry that even if I had the car, I probably wouldn't go get her anyways because she just wrecked my car over state line.
Are state lines important to you?
To me, it is. I mean,
what difference does it make to you? A state line is usually a street, often called state line. Does it matter to you which side of that
well,
street
I wouldn't be able to go
on?
pick her up. I mean, to me, I feel that she should have been charged.
Did you file charges?
I can't. She's a juvenile. In Illinois, you can't.
That's not true. Well, I said I had a little bit different take on it, that there was more to it than just the move in the wrong crowd. And as she's grown up, in terms of writing on the slate of who she is and determining her self-worth, she's gotten some really mixed messages. Would you agree?
Yes.
Would you agree?
No.
Okay, because you haven't really talked to her in 2 years, so you don't really know what she's thinking.
Nope. But it doesn't give her the right to go down the road that she wants to go down and keep robbing us.
Or think it's okay.
And thinking it's okay.
She's not taking any of these things seriously. It's basically a joke.
But the question becomes, why would a child do this? You know, because I think children should grow up with joy and love in their hearts and excitement about their future, and that's not how she's living, and that's not how she's feeling. There are things that she's done really well. I mean, by comparison, she hasn't tried to blow anybody up. No. She's not an addict. No. She hasn't tried to kill anyone. She hasn't, you know, there are things that she's really kept herself a little more on the main part of the highway.
Yes.
So she does have some redeemable qualities, but we're talking about her, but she's here. Ollie says she had a hard childhood because her mother was in and out of her life, and she hoped things would be better when they moved to the Midwest, but she says the move only made things worse. Let's just talk to her when we come back, see what she has to say.
I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. I started stealing cars. I'm afraid of getting caught, but that's part of the rush. I'm a normal teenager doing normal things. Everyone my age is doing it.
Amanda says her 17-year-old daughter, Ollie, doesn't follow any rules and says she can't tame the beast. Junior says he's fed up. Her unruly actions have crossed the line. He's ready to cut ties, said he'd rather go to jail than have her in his house. Ollie says she wants to fix her relationship with her parents, but she feels like her life, well, she just says it's not important to them.
I don't really know why I'm coming on the Dr. Phil show. I'm a normal teenager doing normal things. Everyone my age is doing it. My childhood was difficult. My mom and dad got into arguments all the time, and my mom ended up leaving. I was raised by my father, and my sisters were a couple years older than me, and my dad always worked, so I felt like I was kind of raising myself. My mom was a drug addict. She would rather go do drugs than be with me. When I was 13, I ended up moving back with my mom. It was the first time I saw her in 6 years. It was just me and my mom at first, so we got kind of close. But as soon as my dad and my sisters came, it's like they pushed me out of the family bubble. And that's when I started being disobedient and disrespectful. I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. I started stealing cars. I ended up dropping out of school last year. Then I ended up quitting my job because I ran away with my ex-boyfriend. I was addicted to yaps. Yaps are a mix of cocaine, ecstasy, and Molly. I stole my mom's car just to be cool and to ride around. I got arrested a few months ago for crashing my mom's car. Whenever I get into these car accidents, my parents are always mad at me, but never worried about my well-being. They should be worried about their daughter living or not. I steal cars because it gives me a rush. I'm afraid of getting caught, but that's part of the rush. My parents try their hardest to outsmart me by hiding the keys and locking the doors, but I always find a way.
Ollie, how are you?
Good.
I've been talking to your parents here and probably be surprised at the conversation we've had. It really hasn't been about you, it's been about them. But you said you're just doing things normal teenagers do. Really?
Yeah, that's what most teenagers are doing right now.
Can I get that video of her on the hood of the car with the, this one? You look up and down the block and you see all the kids out in the driveway with concrete blocks smashing in windshields and kicking in windows. Does that look like normal up and down the street? So that's not normal.
No.
Okay. You tried to melt a safe, burn a safe open, which, by the way, those are metal behind that plastic, so you're not going to burn your way into a safe unless you had some kind of blowtorch at about probably 1,800 degrees. Which I'm guessing you didn't have, so you're not going to melt your way into a... Do you think that's normal?
No.
You dropped out of school, right?
Yeah, last year.
If that's normal, who are all those kids in that big building down there with bricks and windows they call a school?
Good teenagers? I don't know.
Well, if you say what you're doing is normal, then there wouldn't be anybody in the schoolhouse. They'd all be out kicking in windows and melting safes.
Well, it's normal where I'm living at.
Yeah. Must be a rough neighborhood.
Rough town.
The whole town's rough. Yeah, well, it may be. I just want to know what you want. I'm not like the principal. They haven't dragged you down here in front of the principal and I'm going to chew you up one side and down the other. I like to get people what they want. And this can't be what you want. All this conflict and turmoil, and it can't be what you want. What do you want?
I want a closer bond with my mom and dad.
Yeah? What do you want in your life?
I want to get a GED because it's hard for me to go to school.
Sure.
And then I want to become a cosmetologist, but I have to do like 3 years of school for that.
And then you want to live independently on your own? You want to have like your own apartment or your own house or something? You want to get married and have kids? You want to raise dogs? I mean, what do you want to do?
I want to live on my own, and I want to have my own things. I don't want to get, but I want to live alone and independently, but I also want my family to still be there for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we asked you about your mom. And, you know, I have a lot of teenagers come on here, and I ask them about their parents, and I get some interesting descriptions. Really interesting. Some I can't put on the air.
Oh.
And would you like to know what she said about you?
Sure.
You want it right between the eyes?
Sure.
So you think if you said, hey, listen, all forgiven, you know, come here, baby, you think she'd pick your pocket while you were hugging her?
Yes.
No, I would not. I'm not that dumb.
All right, not that second, but Dr. Phil, as soon as I close my eyes and went to sleep, gone.
Tomorrow.
Were you planning on marrying somebody else?
I don't keep memories that long.
I'm not lying it. He's a cheater and a liar.
You get in your daughter's face and say, shut your mouth. Why are you not protecting your children?
They have nowhere to go.
What's going on in this situation is so bad. Some behaviors, I think, are actually criminal.
That's tomorrow. Then on Monday.
You're somebody rich and beautiful, and they're telling you how much they love you.
She has a phone, but she says it doesn't work and only text.
She can charter a private jet, but she can't make a phone call.
That's Monday.
When I was younger, my mom and dad were focused on drugs instead of punishing my sisters. So now that they're sober, I'm the one getting punished. It's kind of messed up that when I was a good child, you didn't want to be around. And now that you are around, I'm a terrible, terrible child. That's how you look at me. I wasn't always terrible.
No, you weren't.
And you weren't around to see it. And that's not my fault.
So you're saying that since I wasn't around to punish them, now I'm clean and sober and I'm
You're only
on you.
punishing me.
Well, because you're the only one in the house.
I have a lot of teenagers come on here, and I ask them about their parents, and I get some interesting descriptions. Really interesting. Some I can't put on the air.
Oh.
And would you like to know what she said about you?
Sure.
You want it right between the eyes?
Sure.
She said, my mom is beautiful, hardworking, loving, nice, and she can be strict. She said, my dad is silent, hardworking, and tough. She said, I think they exaggerate sometimes, but I understand that I've done a lot to them. So we sat down and talked to her, and she's had every opportunity to throw y'all under the bus. And that's just not what she said. That's just not what she did. We asked her what she wanted in terms of her family, and a lot of kids say, I want them in my rearview mirror. I want them so out of my life. I want them gonzo. If I never see him again, it'll be too soon. And she said, I want a relationship with my dad. I want a relationship with my mom. I want to be independent, but when I am, I want to have a relationship with them. I want to be able to see them and talk to them and have them be part of my life. She didn't use the words like evil and domineering and horrible or any of those things. What do you make of that, Dad?
It's a lie right now. That's how I feel. I feel she's still lying.
She's not talking about right now. She's talking about what she wants in her life.
I would love it if we can have a daughter and father relationship again. But I can't have that until I know that she's ready for it.
You think you would be foolish to open yourself up to her?
Yes.
Because she would exploit that vulnerability.
I've already opened up to her, and she's already done that to me. So
So you think if you said, hey, listen, all forgiven, come here, baby, you think she'd pick your pocket while you were hugging her?
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that dumb. It would not be, I would never, ever.
All right, not that second, but Dr. Phil, as soon as I closed my eyes and went to sleep, gone.
Well, coming up, Ollie says no one in her family understands her, and she's tired of feeling like she's on her own. Well, I'm going to add someone to this conversation to weigh in next.
I dropped out of school last year because school is a problem for me. When I go to school, I get bullied, picked on, and I'm scared of getting fights because it always gets me in trouble. It's easier to just quit than deal with all that. I couldn't focus because I'm so worried about what other people are saying. I do not have a GED. My goal is to be a cosmetologist, and you have to have a GED to go to cosmetology school, and that's really all I want to do.
Well, Amanda and Junior say they desperately want Ollie to stop living a life of destruction and get back on the right path. But Junior says he's ready to kick her out, and Amanda has given up on ways to help. Well, I've invited someone here today because I believe she can have a real impact on Ollie. Please give a warm welcome to life coach Jackie O'Brien. Jackie, thanks for being here. Now, Jackie and Ollie, and I want to hear from you about this, but let me tell you, I always appeal to young people's greed, okay? Greed can be good sometimes. That's why I said, what do you want? I don't want you stealing a car. I want you owning a car. I don't want you taking what you want. I want you earning what you want. I want you to have what you want. And I don't think you've had a fair shake in life. I think you've victimized a lot of people, but I think you've been victimized. Jackie, you've studied this situation. We've talked about, what do you think?
You know, Dr. Phil, I have to agree with you. I think Ollie's had a raw deal. I really do. And I think that, you know, you may not be responsible, Ollie, for a lot of the things that have happened. But at this point, you're accountable for your life moving forward. And you've just mentioned what you want it to look like. You want to be a cosmetologist. You want to get your GED. You want to have a good relationship with your parents. And I think that's really admirable. A lot of kids your age in your situation come in and they don't have that attitude. So we're already working with some strengths here, which I'm really impressed by.
You know, but life's about momentum, isn't it?
It is.
And right now, a lot of your life is in the wrong momentum. You're waking up and you're talking to some people you shouldn't be talking to. You've got bad momentum with these two because you've taught them, blink and I'll burn you. You know, look the wrong way and I'll take advantage of you, to the point that they think if your lips are moving, you're lying. And so they've learned not to trust you. You've got to earn that back. And they've done things in their life where they made choices where they chose things over you. And you can't, not even God can change what has happened.
Yeah.
But you turned your life around. I'm not saying you did it in exactly the right way I would choreograph if I was choreographing it. But nonetheless, you did it.
Yes.
You've been clean how long?
14, 15 years.
How long?
6.
Okay, so you guys got yourself straight. You got yourself clean and sober. I commend you for that. But there were some casualties along the way, and you have to own that. It hurts. Look, I was raised by an alcoholic father, and I could have been down the same road you've gone down. And had it not been for athletics and coaches who took me by the ear and said, you can run high and jump high and run fast, so we're not going to let you get stupid, I would have been in the same place. And that's why I'm bringing in Coach Jackie here, because I think you just need somebody to help you get momentum in a different direction. And not somebody to punish you, but instead get you busy doing things that pay off. And when we come back, I've got a few ideas about how to get this family back on track. You said you need new strategies. I've got a few. We'll be right back. What's up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today. What year were you born?
2004.
2004. You're just barely getting started. I wore a T-shirt playing tennis the other day that said U.S. Open 2004. Robin was mortified. She said, what are you doing with this T-shirt? So I actually do have a T-shirt as old as you.
It had a huge hole in it.
It wasn't that big. You're young. You got your whole life ahead of you. Let me tell you something. Childhood is behind you. And some things happened to you that I'm really sorry about. I really am. If nobody's ever said that to you, let me tell you, as a member of this generation, I'm sorry that that happened. The system failed you. And I want to make that up to you. I really do. I want to give you an opportunity to do some things. What kind of work do you do now?
I make sandwiches.
That's a good job. That's honest work. And you hang on to that. But you want to do other things. You say you want to get your GED. Valid way to go. That takes time and it costs money. And I'm going to volunteer to pay for that, and Jackie's going to help you get organized to pursue that. And you say when you get that GED, then you want to go to cosmetology school. Problem is, that's very expensive, obviously. It costs tens of thousands of dollars. But I've been in touch with educators of Beauty College of Cosmetology, which is up in your area. And I have arranged for you to have a full scholarship at Educators of Beauty College. And this includes all of your tuition, all of your books, all of the equipment, everything that you have to be a student there. All you have to do is get your GED and show up. What do you think of that?
Thank you.
Okay? So they have a great website that you can check out. It's educatorsofbeauty.com. They have a spot for you, and they are ready for you, and so that's something you can work with, right, Jackie?
Absolutely.
You need to make a decision right now in this moment. Are you worth that investment?
Yes, I'm definitely.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. And this isn't about them. This is about you, because you're old enough now that the choices you make, they fall on you. Whether you get your GED or not doesn't affect them. It affects you. It affects your life. You're working for you now, not for your parents' approval. You're working for you and your quality of life. Okay? And how does that feel?
Scary, but good.
Yeah. You said you steal cars because it gives you a rush. Does this give you a rush?
Definitely.
There you go. All right. And Jackie, you said that there are some things you wanted to do to help these guys along with someone else, with a coach for these guys, to help them keep pace with what you're going to do with her. And if she arranges that to help you guys, you would lean into that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because we want this to move forward.
Yes.
Let her earn back your trust. I'm not asking you to be gullible. Let her earn back your trust. I know you love her. I want you to like her again. Okay? All right. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to life coach Jackie O'Brien from Cast Centers and Coach Mike Baer. For more information about today's episode, or if you'd like to share your story, log on to drphil.com. If you'd like to be in our live studio audience, and we do have live studio audiences again.